30 days. That's all it took for my client Tyler to lose over 20 pounds and start to see his belly shrink. And this was for the first time in years, since high school, he said. And no, he didn't starve himself, cut out carbs, or do hours of brutal cardio. In fact, he ate way more. And he did 4 other things we're going to discuss in this video that a lot of people would consider the wrong approach. Most people think belly fat is just stubborn and it won't budge, that they will forever struggle to feel confident and that they will always fail. But that's only really true if you're doing it wrong. But if you're doing it right, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how, your body can completely change in 30 days. You will notice a big difference. It's about finally following a plan that actually works for real people who have a lot of weight to lose. If you've tried 100 times before and failed, this video is for you. Let's go ahead and get right into it. By the way, if you want meals that fill you up, taste delicious, and are crazy easy to make, grab my cookbook. It is totally free. Link in the pinned comment and in the description. Now let's talk about eating more and losing more at the same time. This is going to be how we start off because this was one of the main pillars that Tyler used. He really did use all 4 of these other things as well. There's going to be 5 total things, but it's called the FFP formula. That's what I use with my clients. The FFP formula is an easy way of putting together fat loss meals that keep you full and satisfied and happy with your diet. And that is one of the biggest keys when it comes to an extended weight loss diet. Fiber slows digestion, and that's the key difference between fiber and protein, although protein probably does that a little bit as well. Think leafy greens, beans, berries, anything like that that's going to have a lot of fiber. The second F is the fluid. Now that actually comes from what you drink. Yes, lots of liquid is going to help, and that's why water is such a big tip. That's just been overdone so much I don't really bring it up. But getting enough water, about half your body weight in ounces a day, is essential. But it's not just water. You could drink black coffee. You can drink diet soda. It's not going to kill you. Go ahead and argue with me in the comments. You're going to be fine. And it's really going to enhance your ability to lose weight. But it's also the water that is in your food. So think like oranges or watermelon or whatever, something like that, that is, cantaloupe, that's going to fill you up because of the water content that's in the food. It just takes up more space. Protein keeps you full for hours, supports muscle, and is the most metabolically active macro that you can take in. You burn calories literally just by consuming it, and since it keeps you full, you consume less calories. It's a win-win from both sides. Definitely prioritize lean options like chicken breast, ground turkey, Greek yogurt, protein powder, egg whites, things like that that are going to give you the most protein without all the fat that comes with it. A T-bone steak is great, but there's just a lot of calories in it that come with it from all the fat. If you do this, you will literally be eating more. And so the thumbnail wasn't clickbait. You literally eat more. Try one of my recipes. You'll see the serving sizes are quite large. Now my wife is pretty small, but she can never finish the serving sizes that, are a typical serving size. It'll be 450 calories and she physically cannot finish it. That is how filling they are. I also find it makes you feel less deprived, meaning that, you get less cravings throughout the day. And for those of us that have always struggled with our weight, you might relate to me in this. That food noise that's in your head, that's just kind of like you're kind of constantly thinking about food, that is heavily reduced. Now, that constant thinking about food doesn't really happen whenever you're off a diet, but whenever you're on a diet, if you find yourself, always thinking about going to the kitchen or the cupboard, this is really going to help you. For the second point, do you know the show Shark Tank, where someone walks in and they pitch a business? It seems like they have something like really good that they're going to be coming in with. They've got passion, the pitch is clean, the product looks solid, it looks like they're really going to do well. But then one of the sharks speaks up and says, the reason that you're not making a lot of money here is because your packaging is eating up all your profit margins or whatever. I don't really get that stuff. It goes above my head. But you get what I mean. If you've seen the show, you totally understand. The person that came in thought they were doing everything right until someone pointed out this one thing. And a lot of times that shark will end up, partnering with the person that came in, and we'll hear years later how well they're doing. They're literally multi-millionaires because of this partnership, because this person was able to look from the outside in and see that one thing needed fixing. That's exactly how fat loss works for so many people. I get this all the time. People come to me and they think they're doing everything right. You might be working out, eating healthy, and cutting back, especially on the calories. But if you're unknowingly off on something, fix that thing and everything will fall into place. Here's the truth. If you're not seeing results, you're not doing everything right. And that is a good thing. Let me tell you why. Because it still means there's room to improve, something to fix that's actually going to give you progress. If there was nothing to fix and you're literally doing everything right, then you have zero reason to feel any hope because there's nothing else that can change. But if there's a big glaring weakness in with the Shark Tank example in their business, but in your fat loss plan, if you fix that thing, I'm telling you, it all just starts to happen. Now, a lot of times the people that come to me, it'll be 4 or 5 things if I'm being honest, but the more things that are wrong and the worse they are, the more hope a person should have. Because if you come to me walking 1,000 steps and eating cheeseburgers every day, if we just cut that down to cheeseburgers once a week and get you walking 8,000 steps a day, you are going to scorch fat. It's going to be insane. So let's break down the most common fat loss mistakes that I see. So food logging isn't accurate, or it's not being done at all. At least for a while, you got to log your food. And I think it is a superpower. My cookbook really does make this so much easier. I'm not just trying to like sell you this cookbook. It's totally free. But it makes it so much easier because the serving sizes are in grams already for you. You don't have to measure out cups and all that stuff. You just follow the recipe, and you're going to get something that you get 335 grams if that's what the recipe says, and you know the calories, carbs, fats, and proteins, and that's all. So that makes it a lot easier, but scanning labels and everything in MyFitnessPal or whatever app you use, that's going to be, an option for everything that's not in my cookbook. I'm telling you, just start tracking your food. It's going to help so much. The other thing is alcohol. Even just on weekends adds up quite fast. I'm not saying you have to completely quit alcohol, but you got to log it, and it kind of sucks because you log a drink or two and you're like, dude, that sucked up all my calories. It's like, well, that's the point. That's the reason you're not losing weight. So I would consider giving it up for a while. You don't have to give it up forever. Maintaining weight loss is far easier than actually losing weight. And on a weight loss journey, most of the time with my clients, I have them quit alcohol. It's not forever. Okay. So you got this. Eating out too often. That is another big one. Now, eating out is not a mistake in and of itself. It's just there's a lot of hidden calories in these dishes that are at the restaurants. Studies show that sometimes they can be off by up to 40%. I think the average that this study that I'm thinking about, this is a long time ago, was 20% that they were off. So it was up to 40%, but most of them were off, closer to like 15 to 20%. But still, that really, really adds up. If you have an 800 calorie burger, I don't know what 20% of 800 is, but that'd be something closer to like 900, 950, something like that. And so we really want to be cautious on how often we're eating out. If my clients, this actually isn't in my notes here, so this just came to me. If my clients insist on eating out a lot, that's cool. I just have them do the 20% rule. I call it the 20% rule, where they have to log 1.2 servings of whatever they're eating. So if they get, a burrito and they find it in MyFitnessPal or something really close to it, they have to log 1.2 burritos and still only eat that one burrito. And a lot of times they feel like, dude, that literally took all my calories. And it's like, well, you're starting to see the reason that it's not working, not just have to wonder. And so, like I said, this should be encouraging because it fills you with hope that, okay, it kind of sucks. I might not be able to have the burrito every time I go out, but now at least I know. Another mistake that I see is not enough protein. Most people think they are getting enough protein. Try to get 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight, whatever goal body weight you would have. And my recipe book, again, I'm not trying to, this just keeps coming up. This isn't in my notes. It's loaded with protein packed meals. Like from a single meal, you'll get 40 or 50 grams of protein. You eat 4 of those a day, you're usually going to be around 2,000 calories, and you're going to have 200 grams of protein. If you need less calories than that, you probably need less protein than that, and therefore you're still going to get a ton of protein. But with time, I want to encourage you. This can be difficult at first. This is where I find a lot of clients really struggle is getting enough protein. But with time, you practice and you get better at this. This is a skill like anything else. And I promise you will build it and you will succeed if you don't give up. Another mistake is, we're still in this point here of fixing these mistakes, is not moving enough. A lot of my clients will come to me and I just need to get their movement up because you can only cut calories so many times. Oil and butter being added to food without logging it, that adds up so quick. It is shocking and quite depressing how little oil it takes to get to 120 calories. Another one, this is like a side note, is protein bars that are candy bars that are disguised as protein bars. Make sure that I call it the 10% rule, that you have 10% of the calories are in grams of protein. So I don't know if that makes sense, so I'll just kind of describe it. If it's a 200 calorie protein bar, it should have 20 grams of protein. If it has 12 grams of protein, that is a candy bar that has higher protein. There's a reason it tastes so delicious. Protein bars are never like amazing. There's ones that you're like, for a protein bar, this is quite good. But, just know that you could accidentally be getting hidden calories from your protein bars. So did you hear about the Lamborghini that's 100% electric, but faster than all the other Lamborghinis? Me either, but think of your body like a car. I hope that was funny. I thought that was fun. So at first, your body is burning through calories. It's very inefficient. And that's kind of like the Lamborghini. It has a big engine and it is burning a lot of energy. But as cardio improves, you end up like upgrading your engine. You're closer to an electric car, especially through zone 2 cardio. What that means is if you don't increase the difficulty with it, you're actually going to be more efficient. You're going to be burning less calories. So if you walk at 2 miles an hour on the treadmill and that's hard for you, and then eventually that gets easy for you, if you don't go up to 2.5 miles an hour or 3 or whatever, then you're actually going to be burning less calories at that 2 miles an hour than you used to because it's so much easier. You've lost weight, you're lighter, your cardio is more efficient, and therefore it is easier. Physically, if something is easier, you're going to burn less calories. That's what we're going for here. Now, if you use your improved fitness, then in the same 30-minute session that you used to do, now you're going 3 miles an hour. Or let's say you always did 3 miles an hour, but now you're doing 5% incline instead of 2% incline. In the same amount of time, you're now burning way more calories. Cycling, elliptical, swimming, they all also work, but you got to make sure that you're being intentional with how you're tracking your improvement. Because like I said earlier, you want to always be improving and using your improved fitness. So for this next point, I'm going to tell you a true story about myself about partying in my past. I remember when I was way too young, I'm not going to say my age because it is embarrassing. I used to have parties at my house. I would always wake up at 7 a.m. and my friends would literally be like passed out. Like I'm not kidding, like hanging off the couch everywhere around the house. They'd be passed out. There'd be 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. There'd be trash everywhere because we partied, play a lot of games and everything like that. I would 100% of the time have a freak out moment, and then I would have to catch myself like, okay, just one item at a time. Just literally pick up that red Solo cup, pick up that beer can, and just start to clean up. It can feel overwhelming, but eating an elephant one bite at a time really is the key. And cleaning up those parties, it was daunting. I knew my friends weren't going to help me. They were going to wake up and they were just going to leave. And so I had to get it done. It was my house. It was my responsibility. And so I picked everything up and I just did it one piece of trash at a time, carrying around a trash bag. This concept alone is going to be a game changer for you. It could be the difference or the reason in the past why you failed and why this time you're going to succeed. So please listen in. If you're still here in this video, congratulations. This is the gold mine right here. You're going to succeed this time. You can get your dream body, but it's not going to happen in 4 weeks. I know this video is about 4 weeks and you're going to have that's the time frame that I'm talking about. And you're going to have huge progress. You're going to feel awesome, but your dream body, not going to come in 4 weeks. I'm sorry. The more patient you are, the more likely you are to keep the weight off. Aim for about half of a pound of body fat to a pound of body fat loss per week. Now, at first, that could be a lot faster between water and muscle glycogen, and so you could seriously lose weight really fast. That's why Tyler at the beginning lost so much weight at first. Not 100% of it was body fat, but he still felt awesome, and he felt a lot lighter and a lot cleaner, if you will. If you struggle with body weight, I think you'll understand that term cleaner. You literally feel better. But aim for after like 2, 3, 4 weeks, aim for a little bit slower weight loss. I promise it is going to be more sustainable. It's going to be better. What's the point if you gain it all back? This part is really fun. I have this conversation with my clients a lot. It starts to feel awesome at like 10 pounds lost. You don't have to reach your end goal to feel happy with yourself. I'm telling you, you're going to feel confident in your clothes. You're going to be like, dang, look at me. Even though you have so much further to go because where you started off is so much different than where you currently are. Imagine that at 20 pounds lost, 30 pounds lost, 50, 60, 100 pounds lost. It is crazy. No matter how far you have to go, I want to encourage you that you're going to feel great along the journey, okay? You don't have to wait 2 years. Let's say your journey took 2 years. You're going to feel amazing in month 2. You don't have to wait 2 years. And every month after that, assuming you stick with it, you are going to continue to feel like you are just feel so much better about yourself. Okay, so on the next one, let me show you this. It's just a picture of 2 furnaces. You guys see it. In the beginning, fat loss is mostly about eating less and moving more. At least that will give you a huge chunk of your progress. You've heard it, eat less, move more. And that is true. That is how fat loss works. You got to be in a calorie deficit. But if that's all that you rely on, it becomes unsustainable. Eventually, you can't keep cutting calories. You can't just keep moving more. Your feet will literally, start bleeding. So that's where muscle comes in, and that's where the furnaces happen. You can have a 10 times bigger furnace with more muscle. It is amazing because a little bit more muscle, it doesn't just serve you in your workouts. Let's say a little bit more muscle, only really you feel the difference of it whenever you're working out or whenever you're lifting something heavy, but it burns 24/7. Even while you're sleeping, it burns more calories. So your basal metabolic rate, or just the amount of calories that you burn, you can think of it like your metabolism, it just goes up 24/7, and that is such a game changer. It also gives your body shape. It gives you that V taper, makes your love handles look smaller, like makes your man boobs look smaller because you got muscle under it. It is going to make you feel so much better. I'm so excited for you. If you're at this point in the video, I know I say this a lot, but like seriously, if you're at this point in the video, like you're really in this because I know my videos are just talking head videos straight to the camera like this and trying to teach you, but this tells me that you're serious if you're still here. So if you're still here, let me know. By the way, I know I kind of implied it, but I want to directly say it. The more muscle you have, the easier fat loss becomes. So you're never wasting your time. Let's say you go through a month of stagnation where you're not really losing any body fat or the scale isn't going down, but you're getting stronger in the gym. Number one, you could be losing a little bit of fat and gaining a little bit of muscle. That is totally possible. But I would rather think, well, even if I haven't, done a recomp, which I bet you have, but even if I haven't, I am now lifting more. My basal metabolic rate is going to increase. I've gotten better at this. I've gotten more resilient against quitting. You are going to succeed if you stick with it. And that month was not wasted. It is now going to be easier the next month to lose body fat because you have more muscle. Don't forget to grab my cookbook. And when you're ready for the final step, which is how to not quit during this whole process, I talk about that here in this video. So you got this. Let me know if I can do anything for you.